Today I'm joined by Alex Facey. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hello, Shaun.
Would you like to just explain whereabouts in the school you work, please?
Yes, my name is Alex Facey, as Shaun just said. I'm the foundation stage coordinator at Alfred Salter, and currently on a day-to-day basis I work in our nursery as an early years teacher.
Thank you very much. Alex, could I start off by asking you your opinion on reflecting a range of different families and networks of affections with nursery children and families?
I think it's actually absolutely crucial that we do so on a daily basis. We see approximately 50 children every single year entering our nursery with their extended families, and each and every one of these children is unique. And that's something that is so often, I feel, ignored, not just in school settings, generally in our society. Every single child comes with their own sort of attributes, circumstances, and we're not just talking about family networks and networks of affection. We are also talking about special educational needs, medical needs, languages, religions, beliefs, cultures, social mobility. Is an absolute wealth of different aspects that as practitioners I feel we have to reflect upon to truly value and respect that child and the child's family, everything that comes as a parcel of this particular child. It is crucial that we don't just ignore certain aspects and choose the ones that we like to acknowledge, so the ones that sit comfortably, but that we really take into consideration absolutely every single aspect about the child. So it's really, really important. I also feel it's really important that each child has got the feeling, and often we help to develop this, of pride in who they are and where they come from, because it is actually quite scary for a child in today's world, to be perfectly honest. There's many things going on, a lot of things they see in the media, a lot of things are being spoken about that children don't necessarily understand. To have a safe and secure place, such as our nursery, where they can express themselves and feel comfortable with who they are and who they live with, and the circumstances in which they live, is really, really important for their overall well-being and actually their ability to develop well in the educational sense.
So we're setting them up right from the start.
Absolutely.
To feel included and valued.
Yes.
So what strategies have you and the nursery and foundation say used to develop that?
I'm really, really lucky to have an excellent team actually work on this on a daily basis.
Marvellous.
Yeah, lucky for that. The team and I make sure that we show a lot of images about different families around our classroom, and those are not just images that are commercially produced, and there are quite a few lovely ones about. It's also about images that the children themselves create.
Okay.
Yeah, so we give children the opportunity to express who they are, who they live with, who are the people they care for, who are the people who love them, and actually give them the opportunity to talk about these people and these networks of families and affection groups and whatever we want to call them, and express themselves in every shape and form they can. We often take part in some little group discussions, obviously age appropriately, but the children have the opportunity to find out about each other's families. We, for instance, have got what is called a pact book, Parents and Children Together, that we send home, where the parents and the child record things that they do outside school. The children love to come into school with the books and share with a group of friends what they have been doing, and just being proud of who they are and enjoying life.
Lovely. So, listening to what you're saying, I know from talking to some schools, school leaders and other practitioners, that the work that we've been doing around representing different families, which of course leads into the work on homophobic bullying, there is a view with some people that they're too young, even in the nursery, that they're too young to know that, for example, a child could have two mummies or two daddies. What's your view on that?
Well, I disagree. I don't think a child is too young at all. What age would be right? What age would be appropriate? So how long do we actually tell them something different? At what point do we decide, now they are ready to really know what it's all about? Also, how do you explain in the meantime what goes on? Every child that comes to our nursery has got totally unique family circumstances. And I can also say that from everybody I know in my own private life. And the fact is, we have to acknowledge these things. It's what it is. That's what we live in. I think it's always existed, but we've never spoken about it, we've never acknowledged it, we've sort of hidden it away, which is actually quite damaging, especially to young children. I feel especially young children need to know that it's okay, that they're supported in everything that they do, in the way they feel, in the way their family is set up. There is no norm anymore. The sort of traditional family, whatever you want to call it, where you've got a mum and a dad and 2 children, it doesn't exist anymore. There are some families, yes, where that's the case, but there are also many, many other families where the setup is entirely different. We see an increasing number of families where the grandparents live with them.
Yes.
We see an increasing number of families where maybe they even share their household with even a friend or somebody, like a lodger, somebody else, because of economic circumstances. It is perfectly normal for a parent to be by themselves. I'm not just talking about women here, men as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it is perfectly normal for. Somebody. I'm just thinking of an example. Somebody I know personally who is gay, and a man, obviously, talking a gay man who actually went through the process of adopting 3 children by himself. Why not? That it is what it is. It's always existed. It always will be. We need to be truthful. We need to lead by example. I don't believe in lying to children. That goes right from the start.
And it sends a wrong signal. I think it sends a wrong signal to children from the start. That A, that we would lie to them, but B, that we would suggest that there was some negativity surrounding their own family group.
And especially when it comes to their own feeling and coming to terms with their own identity. What are we telling them? If we don't tell them the truth, then the only lesson we really give to them is that it's probably best to keep quiet about how you feel, and that's not okay.
No. And that can exhibit itself right across the curriculum.
Indeed.
Social emotional development and abilities to interact socially and personally as they get older as well.
Yeah, and why should anybody be forced to sort of feel ashamed or frightened as to what other people might think?
So, we've done a fair amount of work in the last 18 months or so around different families and bullying. What do you think the positive impacts of that work have been?
I think it's actually been a really wonderful journey. I feel really proud to be allowed to be part of it and to work in a place where everybody is supportive of one another, where nobody has to worry about airing their own voices and opinions, and also where other people's thinking is challenged in the nicest possible way, because we all have certain ideas, it's just natural, but to be able to actually go through the thought process and to share your thinking with other professionals on the level that we have been doing it has been a really, really wonderful experience. I feel certainly within my team I can talk about personal experiences, we reflect off one another, we are very reflective generally of our practice, and that then obviously translates into the kind of practice we put into place for the children, in the way in which we work with them, in the way in which we form relationships with our parents, which I can truly say are really, really positive, really strong relationships.
Yes.
And at the heart of everything that we do is always the child's well-being and the child's personal identity in their sort of right to be free. So on the whole, we actually feel that love in itself, and not talking in a relationship as such necessarily between 2 people, but generally love is a human right just as much as food and warmth and education. And I think the more we emphasise that, we can only go forward from here.
Absolutely.
It's been a great pleasure, actually.
And thank you for all your hard work.
Welcome.
So if there was a school or a school leader who watched this chat, who was worried or afraid or just nervous about doing any of this work, what advice would you give them?
I think it's just try to relax, first of all. There is no need to be worried about anything. We all have our own, as I said, own ideas and our own hang-ups about things. And the only way of getting rid of that is actually to open up and to engage in that discussion and the thought process and be positive, because I think that we've got a responsibility to the children, to the wider society, to make this world sort of a better place, if you like.
How important do you think the training that we did right at the start of all of this, how important do you think that was in steering our course through what some would regard as quite challenging work?
It is very important. It's part of the longer journey and of developing those thought processes, because you cannot just come up with a statement, this is what we're going to do now, we're all going to be very open and welcome everybody in, and some people might think, well, no, thank you very much, I don't want to do that because I don't actually feel that way. So the process of going through that training is absolutely crucial.
Great.
Me too.
Thank you very much for your time today. It's been lovely to chat with you.
Well, welcome.